My husband turned into a completely different person after I gave birth, and today he said my happiness is holding him back from living his best life because he wants polyamory and I don't. Posted by you/alienflowers. The TLDR of my relationship is, my husband and I have been together for almost 9 years, married for 2.5. We're both around 30 years old. We had our baby 14 months ago. The pregnancy was a surprise birth control failure, but we both wanted kids and were happy. We had discussed ethical non-monogamy in the past, but put the discussion on hold during pregnancy. After I gave birth, my husband brought it up again and started really pushing for polyamory. He also took on extra work as I had to stay home due to daycare costs eating up more than my monthly paycheck would cover. He started pushing me off on his family and wouldn't ever be home to help me or give me a break. He told me to go to his mom for a break, and all he was good for was bringing home money. Throughout all of postpartum, he's basically insinuated, if not outright said, that he doesn't want me to rely on him or want him around. At 6 months postpartum, he pushed for us to open our relationship. I hated it. He was disappointed when we closed it after a month. I also went back to school full-time at this time and have maintained a 4.0 since. We've been in couples therapy for about 5 to 6 months now. We each have our own therapists too. The baby was also exclusively breastfed, and I still nurse her 2 to 3 times a day and plan to do so till at least 18 months or so. Alright, so that's the background. Now we're in therapy, and I thought it was working. The last few weeks he's worked less and made time to hang out with me and our baby more. He's planned outings for us, taken us for bike rides, been home to cook dinner and do chores, and to watch the baby/toddler so I can have some me time or some friend time. It's been so nice, and I mentioned to him that it made me happy, and thanked him for doing all this and making progress like we've talked about in therapy. On our walk this morning, and in our last therapy session, he said it made him disappointed that I was so happy with spending all the time together. He said he noticed that since he didn't spend so much time doing extra work, he'd normally work 60+ hours a week but cut it down to closer to 50 hours a week, and was hanging out with us more at home, I'd been happier, and that it just proved to him that he was the problem. He said that everything he wants is a problem, and when he doesn't do or get what he wants, then I'm happy. He said he's happy spending time with me and our baby, but he's disappointed too. I don't know what to even think of this. I'm just hurt that I've dedicated so much time and energy to this relationship, to raising our baby, who is absolutely incredible, and that I've been told I shouldn't be asking more of him. And that when we do spend time together, he might be happy in the moment, but seems to look back at it with regret and disappointment. I don't know if he's even happy to be with me. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like he sees our relationship as holding him back. But when I try to tell him this, he just says it feels like I don't trust him. He says that lack of trust makes him not want to try. I tell him I'm trying to trust him, but he keeps doing the same pattern of spending time with us and then pulling away, and then the cycle repeats. I don't want him to pull back away. I don't want him to tell me I shouldn't need him. That's when I can start trusting him again. Right now, I'm always waiting for him to stop engaging with me and to just always be away. He struggles a lot with negative self-talk and negative self-image, so I try not to say negative things when describing what I want out of our relationship or how I'm hurt. But then he just puts words in my mouth, feels self-pity, shuts down, and stops talking to me for a day or more. What do I do from here? How do I even address this? What do I say to our therapist? Top/relevant comments. Op on her husband helping her with her PPD. There was a time over the summer when my PPD was really bad. One day, I asked him to come home from work early. Another day, a week or so later, I asked him to stay home entirely. He's a construction worker, so he's not always with the same company, and that company didn't ask him to come to the next job with them. He said that after he left and stayed home to help me, they all treated him differently and sort of isolated him. Instead of being upset with those misogynistic jerks, he was upset with me and sometimes still brings it up as an example of how I can't handle myself and the baby on my own. I've told him his frustration is misplaced, that I shouldn't be blamed for needing him, and if a job can't be understanding that a new dad may need to help his wife and child, then it's better he doesn't work with them anymore. He just gets more frustrated. Caring for our kid is our job, not my job. Commenter. Sounds like he didn't really want to be a monogamous partner or a parent. He may have just been ticking off boxes on the life milestone list, get married, have kids, and so on. Either way, at least he's gained some self-awareness and realized he's been a crappy husband and father. He's shown you a pattern that is likely to repeat itself. Op's response. I keep telling him this, that for the past year, this pattern has repeated. He'll be more involved for a couple of weeks, then throw himself back into work, and I'll have no support from him. He asked me today how long it will take for me to trust him, and said that he feels like he's being timed. I said there is no time limit, the change has to keep going. I see that he's putting in the work, but I've seen that before, and I want it to actually stick, or for him not to put up such a fight about it if it does start to slip into him working too much again. Commenter 2. I've seen this kind of thing happen when people get together very young. You guys seem to be 21. You likely didn't get a lot of dating and relationships in before the two of you were together. He isn't happy, he said it by word and deed repeatedly. He doesn't want you to be happy in this because he wants out. He wants to be with other people, again, he's shown this through word and deed. Do you want to be stuck with someone who does not want you? Do you want to be with someone who resents you for wanting to only be with him? Ops response. He dated a lot of people before me. I only dated him. I went on a few dates but didn't have any relationships. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, he said maybe we should separate. I went to my parents' house with a baby. He started apologizing and changed his actions. Now he's upset that I'm happy with the change. It just feels like a big back and forth. I'm getting tired of it. I'm scared not to be with him, though. I love so many of the people where we live, and I know I'd be the one giving that up, those friendships and supports I had to build while he was away working and doing whatever. It's just so unfair. He didn't have to stay with me if this wasn't what he wanted. But he made every effort and attempt to say it was, to commit himself to me and us. But once we have a baby, he wants out? He wanted me to keep the baby. He doted on me all through pregnancy. Commenter 3. The pregnancy was a surprise birth control failure, but we both wanted kids and were happy. Are you sure you were the only one happy about this? Whose birth control failed? I'm guessing it wasn't his, because very little of what you shared tells me that he wants to be a parent. Therapy is not the answer. You two want completely different things. Ops response. I had a copper IUD. The baby implanted next to it. I sent him a picture of the test, then he met me at the OB/GYN for ultrasound confirmation and IUD removal. He cried when he saw the pictures and said he was so happy and wanted to be a dad. I was hesitant and said we could consider an abortion due to life circumstances and the surprise of it all. He said it was up to me. We decided to keep the baby. Commenter 4. How much longer until you finish school? I would honestly focus on being done so you can secure higher earning potential for yourself, quietly talk to a divorce lawyer so you can strategize regarding the best time to file and seek spousal support and child support, and then leave and let him do whatever the F he wants. He doesn't like being a husband or a father, and he seems manipulative and selfish. Ops response. 2 years and I'm done. Update 11 days later. I had gotten in contact with a divorce lawyer's office and had a brief consultation with a secretary. It wasn't too long, and I haven't done much more gathering of info because I've had 10 different final papers/projects/presentations happening and just don't have the time or energy to work on it right now. Since his last comments, things had gone back to getting better. We still spent time together with our toddler, and things were starting to feel fun and like we were getting closer again. Then we went for a walk today. On our walk, he asked me how I thought things had been between us. I said I thought they'd been good, that I liked spending time together. Then I asked if he was still feeling the same way as the last time we talked about this. He basically said yes, that he's disappointed that he's the problem, and if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be in couples therapy. He also said that he doesn't ask me to change anything for him, which is BS. He asked me to be poly with / for him. I felt frustrated at this, because I'm not asking him to change, I'm asking him to do what he had done our whole relationship before he changed. He used to make me homemade picnic dates, surprise me with my favorite snacks and coffee and drinks, or my favorite chocolates from a European-style chocolatier. We'd go on a date every weekend and hang out every evening. We'd text constantly and always found new things to talk about, even after almost 8 years. Then once the baby was born, he began pushing me away, telling me I shouldn't rely on him, while also pushing for a polyamorous relationship. He told me he would burn the fumes in his tank to make sure others were taken care of, but then tell me he couldn't give me those same fumes when I needed him, or even anything from his tank when it was full. It was so the opposite of how he used to treat me. And I told him this on our walk. His response was to say he accepts that he was at fault, but I wouldn't be convinced of his position no matter what he said. I told him that he's not accepting he was / is at fault if he keeps trying to convince me otherwise. In our next couples therapy session, I'm going to bring up that I think we've been both sidesing the issues in our relationship. I'm guilty of participating in this. I'll defend him and try to protect his ego and work together. But honestly, I haven't done anything wrong in this regard. I've acted and reacted in an impossible situation that my husband has put me in. I just don't know why the birth of our child changed him so much, made polyamory into such a fixation of his when that time and energy for his self-discovery should have been put into directly caring for myself and our baby. He keeps trying to make excuses that he didn't get to do much the first year of her life, but he went on multiple hours-long hikes and dinners with his friend, went on a solo camping trip, slept over at another friend's house for their birthday instead of coming to the first family outing I had planned since giving birth, went hiking and rafting a couple of times with the significant others of some of my friends, went on dates with me, went on dates with other people, had dinner with friends, went on solo bike rides where he'd be gone for multiple hours or even all day. And his comeback when I point this out to him? It's not as much as he usually did before the baby. He only got to ride his motorcycle once or twice last year. I could have done all those things too. Never mind that I was exclusively breastfeeding our baby, and going out anywhere meant having a portable pump and refrigeration options on hand, never mind a space where I could actually comfortably sit and pump for 20 to 30 minutes in the middle of activities. I don't know. Just what the F happened? How did I go from a devoted and loving feminist-minded husband to whatever he is now? Whatever, I'm still going to try and fix things, because maybe at some point he'll see the light, but at the same time I'm going to begin to craft my exit plan. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Wait, so his tank is on fumes, but he wants additional partners? He can't take care of the relationship he has, but he wants more of them? This man was never a progressive feminist and is acting like an entitled baby. He has a child and a wife, and he's acting like he didn't ask for either and is a victim. I don't think there is a both sides here, and I would seriously reconsider any couples therapist who lets him get away with thinking both of you are contributing to him being entitled, disengaged, and selfish. Ops response. Yeah, I've been frustrated by that in therapy, though I think our therapist is trying to follow our lead a little bit because he knows he can't fix it for us, and is trying to help us figure out how to fix it ourselves. I've also been contributing to it and presenting things that way because I'm not trying to avoid responsibility for things, but yeah, it's not my fault that things are the way they are. Commenter 2. What did he expect when y'all became parents? He's a dad now, and crap gets real when you have to put all your energy, money, blood, sweat, and tears into raising them right. It's not going to be a bed of roses the whole way, and I'm sorry that he's placing the fault on you. You don't deserve to be treated like the problem when it's him who's making insane demands on you. You're doing the right thing, girl. Ops response. Thank you. It's not like he didn't expect it, or at least he was aware. We talked throughout the pregnancy about how everything would change, how it already had changed for me, how my life and my plans were pushed back a year because of pregnancy and postpartum. He got to keep much more of his life and freedom than I did. Yes, he took on extra side work to bring in some of the money we were losing with me staying home, though we would have lost even more if I'd kept working, but all the time he was working, I was taking care of our baby. And all the time he wasn't working, I was taking care of our baby. Commenter 3. He was never a true feminist. Oh sure, he was a feminist when he was getting sex more regularly and he was the main character in your life. But after the baby? Patriarchy says he's not supposed to be the caregiver. Patriarchy says it's normal for you to be a burned-out mess, not his problem. Patriarchy says it's normal for him to want sex with other people, no matter how his wife feels about it. So he believed it benefits him. That's the whole story. Maybe he gets his head out of his rear and decides to actually build a loving and successful life with you, someone who really wants that. But that's going to be an uphill climb because he's already figured out that just following the scripts he's heard all his life ensures his life really didn't have to change half as much as yours did. I would really hone in on that with the therapist, and if the therapist tries to both sides it, fire that therapist. You don't need a therapist to act like you're the problem here when you 100% are not. I feel for you, and I think it's wise you're keeping an exit plan. Ops response. I just don't really know how to make that exit plan. I'm not working, as I take care of the toddler full-time and am in school on a full-time schedule too, squished into 2 days a week while my parents take the little one, so I'm not making my own money at the moment. I don't graduate until 2027, with a master's, so I either have to stay with him until I get a job after graduation so I can afford my own place, or I have to move in with my parents before that, who don't really have the space for us but can make it work. Editor's note. Op made a post in r/divorce 5 days later asking, how do I find out what documents I need? How do I know how to pick a good lawyer? What do I do? So it looks like she is heading down the divorce route.